What's happening? And welcome back to another episode of the Account for Life podcast. Jay Moore, the healthy accountant, helping you to account for your life. Today on the podcast, here's what we're talking about: the power of born again mind. Now, here's the thing. If you caught the last episode, so the last episode was about 9 days ago, and we talked about the importance of being born again. Today, we're going to talk about the power of it. Now, in the power of being born again, this is not religious. So just want you to know this has nothing to do with any kind of religious teaching. It has everything to do with today. Whatever you're dealing with right now, whatever challenges you're going through right now, whatever situations you want to break through in, it's about being born again. I'm going to share with you a few things today that's going to help us all to learn that it all comes down to how we think. And when I change my thinking, that's when I become the most powerful person that I can be. Guys, if you're new to this channel, if you're new to this podcast, hey, how you doing? My name is Jay Moore, go by the Healthy Accountant, and I'm so happy that you're here today. And make sure that if you get value from this episode or any episode, please be sure to hit that, like button or subscribe, whatever it is. But we definitely thank you and appreciate you. Guys, so for the next 45 days, so 45, there's 45 days today until January 1st. January 1st would be day number 45. I decided that I wanted to recommit to the podcast and really get back to the roots of what this podcast has been built on. And I have not really been going deep on what it's been built on. I just kind of like been doing it, but I've been thinking about it for the past 9 days, actually a couple of weeks. I said, you know what? Let's go back. It's born again. It's a change, but I'm going to share with you the change that did it, that really made it possible. Not just for me, but for a lot of people. So guys, be sure that if you get value, just let me know. All right, so let's jump in. And I'm going to quote a scripture that I believe is going to set the tone for what it is that we're talking about doing and what we have to tap into in order to really tap into this power. This power that we have so that we can become born again. It's in Matthew chapter 7. I'm reading the Good News translation. Not that it's any better. It just so happened to be on the Good News inside the Bible app. So it says in Matthew chapter 7 in verses 24 through 27, it says, "So then, anyone who hears these words of mine and obeys them is like a wise man who built his house on rock." Let's first understand what is being said here. When you are tapped into being wise, when you are acting like this kind of person, then you know what to do. You basically tie your ship, put all your eggs in the basket of something that will not move, which is a rock. Verse 25, and it says, "Then the rain poured down, the rivers flooded over, and the wind blew hard against that house, but it did not fall because it was built on rock." In one version, it says solid rock. So let's think. Let's think about this. We've had situations where the winds came. We've had situations where the waters came and houses went down. See, not saying that those houses weren't built well. What we're saying is that when you are built on the rock, you cannot lose. You cannot fall. Verse 26, "But anyone who hears these words of mine and does not obey them is like a foolish man who built his house on sand." And lastly, verse 27, "The rain poured down, the rivers flooded over. The wind blew hard against that house and it fell. And boy, oh boy, what a terrible fall it was." What a terrible fall it was. See, when we're talking about being born again, when we're talking about changing. See, I'm using born again just because for people of faith, that's a word, that's a phrase that we understand. That, oh, born again, I got to be born again. But we're talking about in a different way today. Like, I'm going to jump into a movie real quick because I think the movie sets the stage for where we're going. Because if we don't understand this movie, I just recommend this movie to somebody. I'm trying to remember who it was. But if we don't understand this concept, we're going to be just pulled into the slaughter, and we won't be born again. In 1999, very, very famous movie was released. I can't remember what month it was. I just remember 1999 was one of these years where stuff was a little like, man, you're just wondering what's going to happen because we're going to hit the year 2000. And I remember in IT, they was wondering if the computers was going to work, if the computers was going to go haywire. And there was all sorts of programs and projects they was creating so that when the year 2000 hit, nothing went crazy. But in 1999, a movie came out. Movie called The Matrix. I'm sure you're familiar with it. You may have seen it. Now, the first one is the best one. The rest of them, but the first one set the stage for a new way of thinking. It was almost like, what if this was happening to you? Hopefully you saw it. And here's the premise of The Matrix. The premise of The Matrix is that we are all plugged into a machine, and we don't even know. We don't even know what is really happening around us. We're just living our lives, basically doing whatever the machine is telling us to do. And it comes a time in your life when you're wondering, you're searching, like Neo in the movie. He was searching for something. He's searching for something. And then he had an opportunity to, you've heard, take the red pill or the blue pill. That would determine whether or not he would be born again. All right. So in this concept of born again, that's enough of the Matrix, but in the concept of born again, we make choices. Back in, I think it was May of 2014, I had a choice. I didn't know what 2024 would look like. I didn't even know what 2020 would look like, 2015, it was 2014. And I was given an opportunity. The opportunity was health first. Health first. Would you believe that something like thinking about getting rid of extra weight, something like, living my best life in a healthy way? What if I could actually, feel good, build muscle, whatever? Like what if that when I'm 50, like when I'm 53, when I'm 60, I have the body of my dreams, or 70, the 80, the body of my dreams. What if that's possible? See, a lot of times we make decisions. And we make it based on, I just want to lose these 20 pounds. And once I lose them, I can just maintain and keep it off. But I may not do all the stuff that I did. Does that ever happen? Where you decided to go on that diet, the diet. You know what a diet is? Think about die. It's got D-I-E. D-I-E is in it, die. You're on a diet. And you go on a diet, and next thing you know, after the diet is over, you gain all the weight back. You say to yourself, well, what happened? Here's the problem. And I didn't know this, but intuitively I knew. When you try to lose something, what do you do? Come on. When you try to lose something, what do you do? Oh, I just lost $1. I'm going to go find it. I just lost $100. I'm going to go find it. I just lost my keys. I'm going to go find it. Man, I misplaced my shoes. I lost my shoe. I'm going to go find my shoe. I just lost my jacket. I'm going to go find my shoe. You see where I'm going? Anything you lose, you go and look for. So words, and this is the thing about the Matrix. This is the thing about the system. The system doesn't teach us that words are the most important. Words are just fuel in our life. And so when we don't understand the words that we use, when we don't understand the words that we allow to basically permeate our whole life, we can't get what it is that we want. And here it is. We say we want to lose weight, and we gain it all back. So this podcast was built on me waking up in the morning early. I was getting up at 4. I was getting up at 5. I would go running. Oh my goodness. I would go running. See, in the summertime it was cool, but in the wintertime it was crazy. And I remember one year, I can't remember which year it was, 14, 15, 16, whatever year it was, we were having Thanksgiving. Come on now, we had Thanksgiving, all the food. It's cold outside, and boy, oh boy, I looked up. I had not given my run today because I was gonna go. I ran every day. I didn't miss days. I went outside and ran, did my couple of miles, came back in. My mom was like, "You went for a run?" Yes, I went for a run in the cold. Absolutely, that's how you went out. I just had a sweatshirt on, some sweatpants. Because when you get out and you start running, you warm up. And I was just doing it. But here's what I've discovered along the journey. Anything that you commit to, you may want to write this down. Anything that you commit to, and you commit to say, you know what, I'm going to show up every day. You do it. Back then, every day, I ran every day. You know, at one point I did do the podcast every single day. I think that was in 2022. I went the whole year. I may have missed a couple of days. But just every day. And I continue to do it. But this year, I took more time off because in taking the time off, I'm really looking to recharge. I'm really looking to tap back in and really understand what born again really means. I'm going to share with you how I came up, how I know that born again is the key to many of our struggles and trials and situations. I was coaching, mentoring a colleague. And I gave an exercise, can't remember what it was. And I said, oh no, write down all your experiences. Write down things that you experienced, where you're from, where you've been, family stuff, work. Like, write down as much of about your life as you can. I said, I'm going to do it too. Wrote it down. Had all this stuff on the paper. It was a lot of stuff from where I'm from, what my parents did for a living, my ethnic background, basketball, all the sports that I've played, the fact that I'm a son, I'm a father, I'm going to school, I've gotten to see people. Like, I wrote down as many things as I can. It was a lot. It was a page full of stuff. When I was done, a phrase came out. It says born again. I didn't understand what that meant. See, amidst all of those things, what did they mean? Nothing. They was just things that I did in life. But it's not until you get to the place where you say, you know what, nothing else matters until I change from who I used to be to who that I know I am. And so here it is. We're in the tail end of another year, 2024. We've gone this whole year, and there's still more. You're saying to yourself, man, but I haven't reached the goals that I really want to reach. Man, I'm still struggling in my finances. I'm still struggling in my health. I'm still struggling in my relationships. I'm still struggling in my parenting. I'm still struggling in areas that I really want to win in. And a lot of times we don't know where to start. Like, as I was contemplating all these ideas that I get, all these ideas, just trying to figure out what is the best path for me. What's the best path? See, because what happens is we start to compare ourselves to other people's paths, and that's the worst thing that we can do. We start to look at what someone else is doing, and think about it. We look at what someone else is doing. And when we're looking at what someone else is doing, and they're like in the same field, and what happens is you can't see your difference. I can't see my difference amongst all the tax strategists, amongst all the CPAs, amongst all the accountants. Like, what is my difference? Then I says, oh, born again, the healthy accountant, helping you to calculate life. Like, this is the essence of me. What does that really mean? Now, here's the thing. It has nothing to do with you. So I'm sharing that part of me. Now, here's the thing. Your born again is already present. We gotta unplug from the stuff that everybody that we're doing and everybody else is doing, and then look at, well, who am I in my core? Here's who I am in my core, and tell me who you are in your core. I'm a person who just want to grow. Like I want to grow, like I want to change. I want to become more. I got the last name More. Come on, I want to become more, which is ironic. See, the creator of this universe will put you in a situation where the gift that you're carrying is right there in front of you. It's right there. But here's the thing: until we are born again, until we unplug ourselves from the matrix, until we say to ourselves, you know what? Something has to change. And here's the thing: the something is not outside of me. The something is on the inside of me that has to change. See, I could say, man, I want to get my body right, and I want to get all these muscles, and I want to lose, because that's what people say, want to lose weight. But here's the thing: it's not something on the outside that has to change. We've been thinking that, I got to change. It's on the outside that I don't like. No, it's on the inside that you don't like. It's the person on the inside. It's the person that is basically, once that person on the inside changes, we all got this, then the outside changes. Everything changes. And so inherently, I've always wanted to grow. And I remember being short. God is so amazing. I remember being short, and then all of a sudden I became tall. Every time I see friends I can see somebody that I hadn't seen in 1 year, they think I'm taller. I'm 53 years old. I did not grow. But here's the thing: God is saying, yes, you are growing, because that's who you are. You are about growing. Now, here's the thing: in order for me to tap into that, I had to unplug from something else. I had to be willing to go a direction that maybe no one else is going. See, this is the part that many of us struggle with. Matthew 7 has some powerful teachings in it. And in Matthew 7, verse 13, it says this, in verse 14, go in through the narrow gate, because the gate to hell, this is good news. This is good news translation here. The gate to hell is wide, and the road that leads to it is easy, and there are many who travel it. Verse 14, but the gate to life is narrow, and the way that leads to it is hard. Man, there are few people who find it. How fitting that we want to almost conclude almost right here. In order to be born again, we must accept that it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. It's going to be some of the most challenging things you've done. It's funny because I had to change my workout. I had to change my mind again around my working out. Because I've been doing these push-ups. I've been going to the gym. I said, I got to change. I'm born again. I get to control me. I get to control this body, and told the body we're going to make some changes again. Because at the end of the day, I want different results. I want better results, because inherently I'm a growing person. Here's the thing about growing: you never stop growing. So the next person who says, man, you look like you're taller, I said, I'm going to tell them I am taller. I'm growing every single day. This is what God placed in me. He's teaching me that growing is the key to life, but it's hard. It's hard. And because it's hard, it says, but the gate to life is narrow, and the way that leads to it is hard. So it's hard. So many of us never find it. Jim Rohn, I love Jim Rohn. He said some stuff that was powerful. And here's what Jim Rohn said. He says, if you do the things that are easy, your life will be hard. But if you do the things that are hard, your life will be easy. See, being born again is not about accepting that something's going to be easy. It's accepting that it's going to be hard. And at the end of the hard, you will be all that you ever could be. You would be more than you thought you could be. You would live a life of abundance. You'd be living a life of transformation. You would be a leader's leader, because when people see you, they will see the growth in you. They will know that, man, you look different. Well, how different do I look? You look taller. You are slimmer. You are more muscular. You are prettier. You are more handsome. Like, wow, like what happened? Like, what are you taking? I'm not taking anything. Here's what I'm really doing. I've unplugged out of the machine that keeps most people stuck. And here's the thing, you can do it too. The Power of Born Again here on the Account for Life podcast started with hard. Here's what the first hard was. I had bad knees, but I did something that even though my bad knees, even though my knee was bad, I said, I'm going to do it anyway. It was hard. Went out and started running. I ran every day. 1 mile starting, 2 miles, 3 miles. And I remember like at the top of the food chain, I did like 100 miles in a month. For me, that was a lot, because I typically did somewhere between 40 and 60. 60 being like average, then went to 100. And I was just like, wow, on a bad knee. But now it's a different transformation. We're growing our muscles, and we're using the same system of growing in order to do it. So look, would you like to tap in with your power? Well, keep coming back to this podcast. We're going to be here. And for the next, just commit to 45 days. Commit to the next 45 days. Commit to the next, just 45, and then see what happens. Commit to the next 45 days. I challenge you to one thing, one change, the one change that could change your life. Tell me what that is. I think it should be fitness. I think it should be something fitness, because that's something that you can manage by yourself. Fitness, which means that choose to walk, choose to run, choose to do 20 minutes, 30 minutes of exercise if you're not already doing, but you're going to do this every single day. This is how you're going to reset. This is how you're going to really become born again, because what is going to take place on January 1st is what you're going to realize is you got your whole life ahead of you. So look, if you want to join me on this journey, be sure to let me know in the comments that you're going to go the next 45 days with me along this journey. Watch this video every day, and I look forward to seeing your transformation on January 1st, 2025. Guys, appreciate you for joining me for another episode of the Account for Life podcast. I'm Jim, the Healthy Accountant, helping you to account for your life. God bless. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
This has been the Account for Your Life podcast with your host, the Healthy Accountant himself, Jay Moore. Until next time, make it a great day.